Welcome back to another episode of Two Joes and a Pro. As always, you got your guys, Kenny, Ryan, and Brian. My boys, I would say how y'all doing, but, that's irrelevant. You guys been working. I have not.
I'm doing great. I am hella good right now.
Don't worry, Kenny. The job will come. The job will come.
Yeah, I'm chilling, bro. I really have been. I've been working on personal development, right? I've been doing everything minus the Instagram videos. Oh yeah, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to it.
Ryan hasn't washed that jersey.
He hasn't.
No.
It probably has a whole bunch of stains on there.
It smells like his ass right now because he probably was sweating that whole game.
Yeah, he definitely was. Anyway.
You're muted, bro.
I knew it was a dub the whole time. You didn't get to hear me smelling it.
Nope.
Good. We didn't want to hear that.
Thank goodness.
Let's get straight into it, man. I want to okay, this is going to be harsh. I'm coming at college basketball right now.
Uh-oh.
College basketball. Mom, sorry for my language. You lazy motherfuckers. You guys, the kids these days are so freaking lazy. You guys don't know how to fucking finish. You come out, especially college basketball, right? Yes, guys, I want to say this before. It's coming from a soft spot because I've been betting and it's been coming back and bite me in the ass, right? You go and take these teams. You guys are supposed to be top 25, come out first half. You look good, up 10, up 15. And how do you lose the game? Better yet, you let the team come back. But how do you lose the game? That just tells me that you guys are undisciplined and you guys are not focused. You're probably doing TikToks at halftime and shit, right? And it's mainly UConn. The UConn Huskies and the North Carolina Tar Heels are the biggest bust this year's I can ever recall.
UConn failed to cover tonight.
I tell you, and guess who I bet on tonight? I bet on them tonight. I said, okay, all right, you guys didn't cover the last 4 times. You guys are number 1 in the country. What's 5 points against Seton Hall? Right, like Seton Hall, they just got
Seton Hall.
See, they just got blown out. Seton Hall didn't get the same dogs. They just got blown out. Look at it. They were up 7. With like 3 minutes left. I was like, okay, cool. I just need 5. That's all. I don't need nothing. Nope. I just need 5. They don't even get 5. They lose the game. You lose the game, but guess what? It doesn't stop there. It's a lot of teams that's doing that, right? It's you have a team like Arkansas. One day they want to play good. They're playing good right now versus Missouri. One day they want to play good, then they get blown the fuck out, right? Alabama beats them by 40. Right? You have Kentucky. You're losing to everybody and their mom, and then all of a sudden you play Tennessee, and then you show up, and you can say, "Oh man, it's conference games." That I get conference games, but these teams, they don't have the ability to keep it on all day. I'll tell you one team that does have it though. If you guys are looking at your brackets, Houston. I don't know what's down in the water down there. Them boys ball. Rain, sleet, or snow, they show up. So that's all I really had to say. Just college basketball it's just piss poor. You guys are just front runners, as my coach would say. You guys are just front runners. I wanted to touch on one thing in college football. The transfers have started to make their decisions of where they want to go. Like if you guys are tracking Wake Forest, they had Sam Hartman. He transferred to Notre Dame, which I think is an awesome pickup for Freeman going into his second year. I think it's going to be quite the display on offense, especially with Tommy Reese. I think he's still there at the OC. Devin Leary from NC State, he transferred to Kentucky. I think that's going to be very good. Who else is a big name? Of course, Travis Hunter. He went to Colorado with Deion. Brennan Armstrong, the Virginia quarterback who balled out like stats wise. He's going to NC State. You've seen like a few teams get some sneakers as far as players in there. So that's all I had to say. I know I kind of rambled on a little bit. I know you guys are probably like, "Oh, Kenny, we don't hear his sob story. You know you're losing your bets. Stop fucking betting."
What do you think's the drama that's going to happen with Texas next year at the quarterback position?
Oh, when it happens, I think that when Arch Manning gets there, it's Arch Manning's job to lose.
You think so?
Yes.
Why would Ewers not go into the portal then?
Why were yours not going to the portal?
Yeah.
Because it's an open competition. And if at the end of the day, you're going to bet on yourself. Look, this is what it goes, right? Ewers
is I think he was a higher draft prospect than, wasn't he? Like a higher prospect, high school prospect?
No, Arch Manning is number 1 right now.
Well, I know number 1 this year, but I'm talking about overall. Like I can't remember the metric or the grade but he was like one of the highest ones given.
Oh, you're talking about just like they at the rating wise?
Yeah,
like
you know how they give like they give like a rate,
something like that. Yeah, it could be. But I think that he's going to bet on himself. He understands the offense. It's his job to lose, right? The likelihood of him playing over Arch Manning is not. I would say is 60-40 Arch Manning to him. It's not because he's not capable. It's because of the name and everything that comes behind it. And I think Arch Manning is a gamer. So like I think for years it's a win situation for him either way it goes. He either's the starter. If not, he gets in the portal and he transfers, and he still has that year that he can use as his red shirt. And he's at Texas. You know the NIL deals. He's getting money. Don't think he's not getting money. He's getting money from a big school like Texas. They got all these different boosters. He's getting money. So like I would bet on myself and stay there too and then see what happens.
Yeah, I mean he played well last year, right? He only played for did he play the whole time?
No, he got the whole season, right? Card came in. Yeah, Card came in, but Card transferred. Card knew what's up. He said, "Listen," he said, "I ain't playing with Buddy. I'm definitely not gonna play with him. Let me just get in this portal." So he got out of there. But yeah,
yeah, I know you don't promise players positions, but like Arch Manning could have went anywhere. He went to a school to start. He's not gonna sit.
Oh, for sure. Like they can say whatever they want. Oh no. He's not going there to sit on the bench at all.
Yeah,
at all. And besides Bronny James, he has some of the craziest NIL deals. Like his NIL deals, I think he has like 6 or 7 million already, and he ain't even touched campus yet. So just imagine what happens when he touches campus, right? Like,
does he need to stay on campus? Like, is that a rule? Is that a?
No, you don't have to stay.
Just
get to stay on campus.
Just get his own house. Campus.
No,
they usually make underclassmen do it, like for like the first.
Well, he probably stays on campus.
That was new. That's like old school. Like the new school. Like when I went to school, they didn't do it. Like that's when they stopped it. They were like, okay, you guys can stay early. I don't have to stay in the dorms. You can just live off campus type of thing. But he's not going to stay on campus.
No, he's gonna have a mansion.
He's gonna have a mansion. Do you? Speaking of NIL deals, do you know that he doesn't even have any posts for real on social media? He follows like I think they said like a couple hundred people, if that. But he has millions of followers. Don't even post anything. It's the because his last name is Manning, and they're like, what does he do? Like you don't even know, right?
I hope he's good. I hope
he's a baller, and I hope he's a baller like the quiet assassin, like doesn't say anything. I hope he's like a Bryce Young.
Oh, like a Daniel Jones. Like
no. Like you know what I'm saying? Like Bryce Young doesn't really talk, right? A lot of guys will get fired. He really doesn't talk. I hope he's like that, right? I hope he's not like Caleb Williams.
Nobody talks to Alabama. I mean, Nick Saban don't let him.
That's true too. that's very true. So anyway, that's all I got. I know I took some time, but that's all I got.
All right. So we didn't hit NBA last time. I realized after the fact. So we'll just hit it real quick.
But why did we not hit NBA?
Oh, because Ryan got me fired up about baseball. It's not even in season. He gets me all fired up about baseball.
Of course.
Look,
this guy
making people watch the sport. Just trying to get viewers, man. Just trying to get viewers.
Yes, you're just trying to make your own game. Trying to call it baseball.
Ryan's ball.
All right, real quick. Standings. I mean, mostly you teams have been very close to where they were in the East, anyways. Cleveland's dropped down to 5th. They've kind of regressed a little bit. I mean, but they're basically tied. Who's injured?
They had what's the point guard name?
Garland.
Garland, yeah, he was out for a couple games. He came back. Yeah.
It was like a
Nothing
couple
crazy.
games, Kenny. I mean,
No, but those two together, Garland and Donovan Mitchell together, you can't. It's hard to guard them. You can't guard them guys.
all right. Well, anyways,
Okay, my bad. Go ahead.
yeah, they're tied with Brooklyn and only a half game behind Philly and a game behind the Bucks. So they're all like clustered together, the top 5, except for Boston. Boston is 4 games ahead of the second place.
Hooping.
Listen, I know there's a lot of people out there that want to give the MVP to somebody other than Jason Tatum, and that's fine. You can have your wrong opinions, but Jason Tatum, he's been watching some Kobe film because he's starting to become a killer, and I like it.
100%.
He might not be as athletic as Kobe was, but he's starting to get that it factor.
It's just a certain type of twitch. He doesn't have that same like fast twitch like Kobe does,
Right.
but he can score everywhere.
Yeah,
and his game is like you said, it's like a book. Like him and Devin Booker are like almost splitting images, same things. But I think he might be a better scorer than Devin Booker right now.
He's not as pure of a shooter, but he has more ability to get to the hoop and stuff. So
Yeah. That's what I'm saying about that.
Yeah, I mean, dude, and Jason Tatum, he's like what 6? They list him at 6'8". That dude is
6'8", 6'7", something like that.
That dude is at least 6'10". Get out of here with that. That dude is huge. I feel like he's grown. I feel like he's grown.
He could have.
Stand him next to Rob Williams, and he looks like he's taller than Rob Williams. Rob Williams is 6'10".
Yeah.
So, or listed at 6'10". So
it could be the shoes. He got some platforms.
He's wearing some platforms out there. Yeah. He's got to get every edge he can.
I got to make sure.
Hey, but anyways, the Miami Heat, I wanted to touch on real quick. They've been looking a lot better. Tyler Hero came back. They are in 7th place right now.
Still scrubs.
They were in 10th though. So, dude, they might be scrubs, but they're like that team that just doesn't go away. Like when you face them, if you have to face them in a series, it's gonna be a series. I don't care what team it is. They're going to make it a series. Like, I respect Miami a lot. Coaching, Jimmy Butler is a tremendous player. And I think Tyler Hero, when he's healthy, is a great scorer. So, I wouldn't discount Miami at all.
Who would you say is the biggest disappointment in that conference out of those bottom teams?
Man, probably the Bulls.
But they're in 10th right now, so technically they're in it. You think they should be better, right? Because of how they started the season?
Yeah, I mean, who else? I mean, what do you want to talk about? Toronto?
No, I'm saying, I think that the Charlotte Hornets are like, they disappointed me a lot just because last year, like, they were right on the cusp, and I thought, like, okay, well, Melo just getting adjusted. I think the good other guys, Terry Rozier, all those guys are going to play better, and it's like they're nowhere to be found. Yeah, and Melo still puts his numbers up, but it's like it's not like last year. I feel like they were like must see TV. Like when you play the Hornets, you're like, damn, I'm in a dogfight. And this year it's kind of like nothing.
That's true. Man, I don't know. I mean, I know Gordon Hayward's been in and out of the lineup.
Yep.
I don't know if you can ever rely on him to be
not the same guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting older. Injuries are taking its toll. So, Ball and Rozier are good, but you need somebody else. You need somebody with more size. And what do they got? Their best guy is what, Plumlee? Is that who they got for center?
Yeah,
their best big. I mean, he's okay, but if he's your best big, I mean, you're just not a very good team.
Yeah,
I don't know. But anyways, let's go to the West real quick,
please,
dude. Let's talk about the Nuggets and Mr. Triple Double, Joker. I don't even know how to say his name, Jokic or whatever.
Yeah, Nikola Jokic.
Yeah, dude. Dude, they look really good. Like really good. When Jamal Murray is healthy and playing, between him and Joker, and then they've got Michael Porter.
Mm-hmm.
They've got
Aaron Gordon,
who is no slouch.
No.
They're pretty. I think they got a pretty good lineup. I'm not sure about their bench, but they just drown teams when that starting five is out there. So
Yep.
it's hard to come back from that. I don't know if you got anything else on them, Kenny.
No, I have something else. Like Joker is Joker, right?
Okay.
Like he's different.
He probably will
I
win
think
MVP if he continues his on his season because he's averaging a triple double. I mean, I can't argue with that. But
I would agree. He probably would do that. I think I'll tell you the only two people I think after I say my comment on the Joker, he makes it look really easy. Like you know how like Russell Westbrook was a couple years ago when he was like triple double was like just like a walk in the park. That's the Joker now. Like a triple double was like what? He's like, all right, that's it.
Yeah,
like that's it. Like that is crazy, especially for a big man like him. He's super talented, and it just gives you more of an understanding of like how the European players are changing the game in a sense, right? You think about like most of the top players, they're not from America, right? Like
Doncic,
Luka, right? You got Luka, you got Joker, you got somebody like Embiid that came from across the water, right? Like those are the. I know you don't want to hear that, but like those are like some of the top names, right? And those guys, their footwork is different. Even when you see a lot of the younger guys that got drafted these last few years, all those guys from Canada or for somewhere in in Europe, and it's just like their footwork is better. Everything is better. They're not just focused on just shooting threes. Their overall game, like they have that dirt and whiskey game. Yeah. Like that's literally what it is, right? So
and then you even got a guy like I know he didn't come from Europe, but Sabonis, his dad was.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but he learned the game from his dad. Yep. So he just kind of he plays a little bit like that, has that European style to him a little bit.
Yeah, that's the longevity game.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like when I look at a guy like Luka, he's not very fast. He doesn't really play a lot of defense, but he plays very smart.
Mm-hmm.
And when he wants to get something, he gets it.
Yeah.
And he can make you look foolish doing it. Or he'll just splash it in your face. He doesn't even care.
Yep.
He's like unfazed by defense.
How is he good? He just looks like a little chubby like guy. Like
you know why he's good? Because he's very cerebral and he beats you to the spot. Yep. Right? To the spot that he wants to go, he beats you to it, right? So if it's like the average person is like, oh, I'm just gonna drive to the right. He's going to be on from the approach of like, what lead foot is up? Okay, the defender's right foot is up. Okay, I'm going to attack with my left hand, and I'm going to make them open up the lane, which is going to make me get to the cup easier. And then they're going to either have to foul me because I'm going to lean into them, or I'm just going to get easy bucket. Like that's how he's thinking when he's driving or he's scoring, or I can step back. There's nobody in the short corner I can do. Like that's how he's thinking, which is a different game. And he's very slow with it, right? Like he might look like he's moving the fastest he can, but he's really controlled.
Right.
And then like, because even like when they played the Lakers, I think it was when he did the step back, like it looked like he was out of control, but the whole time he was chilling. Like when you look at from the back view, he was just look, okay, hey, all right, go back to the sideline, nothing. This is normal routine. You know what I mean? Like is that, and that's what you see from a lot of European players. You don't see a lot of them sped up. A lot of them are just like real comfortable in what they're doing. Yeah. But with all that being said, I wanted to touch on who I think also is the MVP runner-up. It's going to be, of course, your boy Jason Tatum, but that guy Ja Morant. Oh my gosh!
I was playing like shit tonight.
So
go ahead, touch on Memphis because that man.
Memphis is the hottest team in the league. They've won 10 in a row.
Yep.
They're just, dude. They're just so good, man. I don't even get it because like other than Ja, I don't really know who's on their team. And I'm a pretty good basketball fan, but like I just feel like it's Ja and then everybody else.
They got Desmond Bain, who is a sneaky scorer. He averages I think he averaged like 18 or something like around that range. Then you have Dylan Brooks, who's very streaky, right? Mm-hmm. He's back and forth. Sometimes he's giving you, but he plays hella defense. So it's like, damn, he plays hella defense, and they got good team defense. I think that's what hurts a lot of people. Because they don't just like chill on defense. No, they're going to lock your ass up. Then, of course, you got Steven Adams, and you got some guys that come off the bench, but they know they're only getting minimum minutes. So they're out there playing very gritty and grimy. And like, they have really consumed that whole Memphis, Bible Belt, blue collar, slum type of area, like mentality. And they're really on that, like, whoop that trick. Like, that tells you what they're really about. But Ja Morant, he is. First I was like, man, damn, they took Kyrie's sports deal away, and they were like, yeah, they took a Kyrie sports deal away to give it to Ja and to Devin Booker for their shoes, and I was like, damn, that's messed up. But Kyrie, I love you, but I know why, because that man Ja, bro, did you saw that dunk that he did the other day?
Mm-hmm. Oh my god,
it's like he continues to get like more and more like the stretch back even more, and like at this point, I don't think he's real. He might be top 5 dunker of all time already. Like just off of just he they showed a clip of his career that dunks, and I'm like, dog, he might be up there with Vince Carter. Like,
yeah, it's because he's so freakishly athletic, and for his height, he's very
was
long.
6'1".
But he's long, like he's got long arms.
Yeah, he does have a wingspan of like I think like 6'6" or 6'7".
Like, he plays bigger than his size.
Yeah.
6'1"?
Yeah, he's not very tall.
That's short.
Yeah.
He be punching. Oh my god!
That was like the first that I've ever said someone that's 6'1" is short.
Well, for basketball nowadays, it's like 6'3" is like the minimum.
I think they have him listed at 6'2", but he ain't 6'2". Because at Murray, they were saying he was 6'1", and like, okay, you're gonna add an extra inch, which he probably was 6 feet at Murray, so they just probably give him an extra inch every time he go. Right? Yeah. They said I was 6'2".
Yeah, that and Kyler Murray is 5'10".
Yeah.
So
anyway, that's all I have to say on that. The Lakers we suck.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about them. LeBron's gonna pass the all-time points record, and nobody's gonna care because they just are so uninspiring to watch. I'm sorry.
I don't know about all that. That's a little stretch, but
I really don't think anybody's gonna care. Only LeBron fans are gonna care, but just your typical NBA fans that are watching like several teams this year, they ain't watching the Lakers. But unless he does it against a good team.
Most of the kids these days, they don't care about good basketball anyway. All they want to do is see threes, shot from the parking lot, and people get dunked on.
Yeah, well,
that's it.
That's ruining the game. So
yeah. So
the other team that I've probably continuously say this, but Sacramento, dude.
Yeah.
Why are they so good?
Because them and the Utah Jazz, they are just a core group of guys that just want to play hard, and they're well coached, and then that's all it is.
Because really, they don't really have any big. I mean, they got Fox and Sabonis, but like those aren't like marquee players. Those are like
Malik Monk's been playing really well.
Those are like above average players, but they're not like studs. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just usually in the NBA, if you want to be a good team, you have to have a guy, at least one, that is a top like 10 to 20 player. If you don't have that, you're probably not a good team.
I think De'Aaron Fox or Sabonis is as close as you get, right? But like to that point, they play defense too. They play defense. Utah Jazz plays defense, right? Like that's why those teams are stay there, because a lot of the good teams, they just want to show up on offense and not on defense. Yeah. And that's the big issue.
Do you think that comes down to coaching or just their mentality as a team?
I think it comes down to a lot of the teams that have great scorers. Those guys are old. So they're not locking up like they should be, because they're like, listen, man, I need to save my energy from the offensive side. So they just say, oh, I'll play help side. They're not guarding the ball. They're not doing, I'll play help side. I'll do this, whatever the case may be. And then the kid that's guarding the best player on the other team, he's getting burnt. So it's like you're just trading buckets, but it's hard to trade buckets when you don't have the team that's just as capable as another team, or you run into a team that is good on defense. So on the offensive side, you really can't score points like that.
That's why I appreciate players like Jimmy Butler. He goes for the guy, and he wants to guard whoever your best player is.
Yep.
So I appreciate guys that actually want to play defense.
Yep.
Because there's too many of those guys that play off the ball. Even LeBron now, I mean, he's older, so I understand a little bit with him because he's older, but he's not on the ball.
Nah.
He's playing off ball, and he's waiting for offense.
Chase down blocks, highlight plays.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, with all due respect to him.
Get it.
I get it for him because he's older, but it's also a trend in the league. So, but anyways, I ain't got nothing else on basketball. So, you have anything on baseball, Ryan? since you like to you want to remake the game.
No, I am not going to talk about baseball until they change the rules. I just think that it just is not watchable in its current format.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No, I got a hot take. Analytics is improving the game, and it's making it better. So
In what?
in every aspect of the game,
Of
it's more
baseball?
enjoyable to watch. Yeah, baseball analytics
Okay.
is.
Now you just trying to start a fight for no reason. You just
We're
talking
gonna-
out
we're
your
gonna-
ass.
You
Hey.
got anything? You got anything on? You already said hockey, right?
Yeah. Nah.
Okay, cool. Let's do
Nah,
football.
not this week. We'll do
here.
it next week.
I'll cover hockey for
Oh
Brian.
my God, here we go.
Boston's great. Boston's the best team. Next.
The Lightnings are trying to get better. The Vegas Knights is not really performing too well. The LA Kings are still doing really good.
Oh,
And
so,
yeah,
so you
that's
guys,
about it.
you guys have been playing. Been watching, huh? That's what it sounds like.
Well, I don't think your team is doing anything right now for me.
They're up 3-1 just because you took a
Did-
bet with me.
Did your boy score?
No,
Did he score?
No, he did.
Who was it?
Pasternak.
Did he score?
Ryan, let me tell you, in the last 21 games, he has 20 goals. So I'm sorry that I went with the stats there.
I
Well,
looked at
I bet
analytics. The
the same
analytics
guy-
told me to bet on it.
The same guy that told me to bet on Embiid last night.
Yeah, I mean that, dude. Anybody would have told you that Embiid should have got a double last
Hey,
night.
do you want a down spiral like Brian is?
He's on.
I am.
He's coming
I
with
am.
me.
I'm
You guys can join me. I'm at the bottom. You can join me.
all right.
What we got
Can
for NFL? Come on.
Can we talk about the NFL? So last weekend was Super Wild Card Weekend, and it was amazing.
Hold on. Is this gonna be a long story or a short story? Because we
No,
can just
I-
get straight to the Giants. Because we don't. You can save us.
Come on, we got to go through every game. It's only we only have a couple more weeks of this. 3 more
Okay, go ahead.
weeks. Football. All right. So we'll cover the Giants last because
Oh
that's for last.
no! Come on, just get it out of the way.
Please.
All right, fine. No, I'm going to go in order. 49ers beat the Seahawks 41-23.
No
So this
surprise.
was they smashed them. The Seahawks stuck around for a little while, but the talent on the 49ers is just too good.
Brock
The
Purdy's
skill
a real deal.
positions.
Yeah, Tom Brady out there. I mean, Brock Purdy.
So what I
Similar
will
name.
say is in the beginning of that game, Brock Purdy had some real bad passes. So like he looked real shaky to start the game. The Seahawks are just trash and they couldn't capitalize on it. The way to beat the 49ers is to jump ahead and capitalize on that. But he balled out. In every game he's played, first off, he's undefeated. He's never lost a game in the NFL. Brock
It's a
Purdy.
long career record.
And yeah, I mean, he's only got like 7 games or something like that. But he's also thrown multiple touchdown passes in every single game he's played in, which is pretty impressive.
So this might be a question more for the offseason, but I want to kind of ask you now. What do they do with Trey Lance?
Get rid of him.
I think that they just cut their losses and say,
Cut
he
their
messed
losses.
up.
I mean,
You cut the losses now.
Damn.
Don't be Green Bay. Because Green Bay, they're eating shit right now with their Jordan Love pick. They literally just burned all the money with their Jordan Love pick. It was worthless. So you cut the loss now. You take Trey Lance. You send him to a team that think they can utilize his skill set because a lot of quarterbacks now are being mobile. Justin Fields, guys like that, like, oh, well, you can be just like that same class. You get rid of him and you rely on Brock Purdy and see if Jimmy Garoppolo stays around. He probably won't, but I really like what Brock Purdy brings to the game. If you look at his college film, it's great, right? He has those tendencies that he gets himself in a bind. He takes risk when the team is down. Yes, but that's every quarterback, right? I'd rather have a gunslinger like that than, did not have it at all, right? I'd rather have somebody that can throw rather than Trey Lance, what they had him. They were doing all these damn runs, and the 49ers do not look good. Debo's not being utilized. You got Christian McCaffrey. What?
Relax with the Trey Lance.
He's
he played
trash.
one game and it was a monsoon.
He is
It was a
trash.
monsoon. It was a monsoon game.
He's
You
trash.
cannot- Okay.
he's played one game in the last 3 years now.
Okay.
Bro, he's trash.
First year was by choice.
Bro, he's trash.
The second year he hurt himself. Like,
Right. He keeps getting hurt, or he doesn't have the heart to play.
all right.
Which one do you want to go with?
Ryan. He's trash.
Yeah.
You cannot write
We
the.
s-
I'm
we
not.
s-
I'm not a practice. I'm not a practice.
Look,
Who's your
you know why
inside
he's
source?
trash? He came from North Dakota State. Name me one good quarterback that came from North Dakota State.
I got nothing for you.
Carson Wentz.
No, I'm not gonna say.
Who?
You think I
Who?
was gonna?
Who?
You think I was gonna
Because
say?
you know
Carson Wentz?
why? Because that's the only one. Because he came out of North Dakota State, and everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, he did great talent. Da da da. He has arm strength. Da da da. He can move. Boom boom boom." He had a couple years that was good in Philadelphia, and ever since then he's been tossed around like a house hooker.
I think Carson Wentz. He's got a couple screws. Like
A couple?
There's something about him. Yeah, he's not all there upstairs. Anyways, Geno Smith is the quarterback
Franchise.
for Seattle going forward.
No,
Like
he's
I don't
not.
think they need to make a play for somebody right now.
I don't think they need to make a play for somebody, but you definitely franchise tag him, and you don't give him a long term deal.
Yeah,
no.
I wouldn't give him long term.
I
It
wouldn't
could be
give
a
him
flash in
a
the pan.
Yeah,
Yep.
I wouldn't give him a long term deal. I agree with the franchise tag, but he's worth a franchise tag.
No, I for sure. He broke Russell Wilson's record in 1 year. You know what I mean? For sure, he is that.
Yeah, he's worth a franchise tag this year, unless he's taking like a team friendly deal. But I think Geno doesn't do good anywhere else but here, but Seattle. Like if he ends up going to free agency, and someone picks him up, like the Jets, he goes back to the Jets and tries to rekindle that relationship. He's trash. I think he's garbage everywhere except Seattle. So if I'm him and I'm smart, I would stay. And then we have to get this one out of the way. Kenny, I want to hear your tears. I want to see your tears. I want to feel your pain. But the Chargers blew a 27-0 lead against the Jaguars. I think he's talking. Anyways, we'll save this game for when Kenny's back with us. But let's talk about the Dolphins game, Brian, because the Dolphins gave the Bills a heart attack this game. It was their third string quarterback in Skylar Thompson or whatever his name is, and they only won that game 34-31, and it was close throughout. What happened?
What happened is the Bills defense has not looked good since Von Miller went down. He's the key cog to the whole operation. No offense to their other pass rushers. Russo's okay, and I forgot the other guy's name on the other side. But is it Epinesa, maybe? Anyways.
I think so.
Not only that, I think they're still probably emotionally reeling, obviously, because of the DeMar Hamlin thing. That's still going to affect some of those guys. Because they're still going to think about what happened, and it's always going to be in the back of their mind because they witnessed something very traumatic. So, eventually they'll get over it, but I still think that some of those guys might still be affected by that. And then also, I'm not saying Josh Allen sucks, not going there, but I think that there is a certain level of management that you have to do with him because he is a gunslinger at times, and Dayball was very effective at managing him from making mistakes by putting him into better situations. And I think that he and the team missed that part of the coaching, that he's not getting that. He's now taking a little bit more chances. And I think that when he does that, sometimes it bites him in the ass because he has always had the tendency of throwing picks in inopportune times or doing something stupid. No offense to him. He's still a great quarterback, but he needs someone to kind of keep him reeled in at times, and Ken Dorsey's not it. So,
yeah, I think to add to that point, I would say that for sure, you give him a big contract, right? You say, okay, he's a big time quarterback, he's done it, right? Dayball, like you said, he's a Mustang, right? Dayball has kind of kept him in to bring him back in, like keep him on the ranks, but relax, right? I think Ken Dorsey is kind of like, okay, Josh has this. Josh is all world, he does it, and you let him do what he does. But what he's going to do, he's going to play wild like that, right? And you have to, like you said, tame him in the sense of like sometimes you got to switch the plays and play some conservative so he can come back down to earth. Because he make a bad play and then it capitalizes or capitulates on top of each other. He makes another bad play and then he like overcompensates sometimes. right? Not saying that he's not great, like you said, right? But he overcompensates sometimes, and it makes a little situation, a little fire worse, right? So
I agree with everything you guys are saying. I think Josh Allen, his talent is undeniable. Like everyone knows, he's one of the best quarterbacks, if not like he's top 5 quarterback in the league. I mean, I'm not going to call him the best because I think Mahomes is better, but he just makes a lot of mistakes. The thing I think about this team, and which is really tricky because I'm pulling for them to win the AFC, but I don't think they're going to do it because they be sleepy on teams like this Miami team. They sleep on them. They slept on them, and then they flip it on real quick, and they're like, oh, we need a touchdown real quick. All right, Gabe Davis 90-yard catch. Like they just turn it on and off.
They suffer from the same thing that you heard you talk about the Chargers earlier. We'll get back to that, but they suffer from the same thing Chargers suffer from in the sense of they have a lot of young players that fall into this. Okay, we have a lead. Okay, now we can put it on cruise control. Not realizing that in the NFL you can never put it on cruise control. You can never take your foot off the gas because these are professionals and they're gonna fight their asses off to make sure things happen right. And in that sense, you have I heard I forgot who said. One of the commentators said, "Oh man, I'm not saying that that Josh Allen is better than Patrick Mahomes, but I'll pay for Josh Allen's over Patrick Mahomes." And I said, "Why would you do that for?" Because Patrick Mahomes, what he's going to give you, he has learned, or not necessarily have learned, right? His day ball is still there, right? Yeah. So his day ball is still there, and they understand that we have to make sure Patrick, he's great and he stays in his greatness, but he doesn't go and do too much, right? And I think that if Dayball stayed a couple more years, I'd say 2 more years, I think Josh Allen would mature enough to the sense where he'd be like, all right, cool. Yes, I can sling it, but I can still stay inside my pocket. Like how, I would say Aaron Rodgers was doing besides, he's been doing for a while. He kind of stays in his pocket. He doesn't do too much. He doesn't really, if he makes an error, it doesn't capitulate, but, he stays in his pocket. And that's what you're starting to see from Patrick Mahomes. I don't think that the reason why I think the Chiefs is going to win it is because I think that Patrick Mahomes is learning, and him not having Tyreek Hill, he doesn't rely on one guy now, right? He's like, okay, cool. I still got Travis Kelce, who's always going to be a staple print, but we're going to get it done with all 9 other receiver players that we have there, right? And I think that's the biggest issue from them to the Bills, that the Bills rely too much on Josh Allen. They're like, he's great. Stephon Diggs is great. Gabe Davis is great. We're just going to let them sling it because we can kind of outrun people. But then when you run against a good team, that's not going to work. Like, it's not going to work against Cincinnati. Like, I'm just telling you, it's going to be hard because the coaching comes to play.
It's going to be a shootout, I think, with Cincinnati. I mean, the players are going to have to be locked in for Buffalo, and I think that they will be. Gabe Davis is doing what he did last year. He's just playoff time, light switch. Like, dude was 6 for 113 and a touchdown. He hasn't scored a touchdown since like for weeks.
Yeah, but I would say that the Miami secondary was horrible this game. Like Xavier Howard, who's supposed to be NFL pro, best top corner in the league type of conversation, right? I don't think he is now, but I just say one of the top corners in the league. He was getting beat every play, and then the other side, it was like pick your poison. Whoever was over there was getting barbecued, right? So it's that kind of play that is like it's kind of a false sense of security where you think, okay, we're good on that aspect. But I think that Miami exposed a lot in them, right? And I think you got to give credit to McDaniels as far as like how he was coaching, because if it wasn't for Skylar Thompson's what's like lack of experience in the situation, they would have won the game.
Oh, I think so too.
Right. I think even when you watch, because I think Tony Romo does a phenomenal job as a commentator when he talks about like where the reads are at, because you can see it. But you can tell that Skylar Thompson wasn't comfortable in the pocket, that another quarterback or more seasoned quarterback, if Tua was in there, it's done. Like he's making those plays because he knows what he's going to be, because he's getting more reps. And I think if Skylar Thompson had more reps and wasn't the third stringer, they would have won the game, because they came back and those 3rd and 4th down plays where, Tyreek was over on the dig route. And, you had Jalen Waddle was over open on like the under, whatever the case may be. He's hitting those. Yeah. He's hitting it. And the Bills they're not locked in on defense. Offense might be the other thing, but the defense are not locked in at all.
That's
So.
a huge. Their defense is going to be what kills them. Look,
Yep.
we got to go back to the Chargers.
Yep.
There are multiple. This game got out of hand super quick.
Yep.
What was it? 27-0.
Yep.
Trevor Lawrence threw 4 interceptions. At one point in the game, Asante Samuel Jr. had 3 interceptions. He had more receptions, catches than anyone on the Jaguars offense.
Correct.
Like at that time in the game. Yeah. So the spoiler alert, the Jags come back and they rally and they win 31-30. The game that Trevor Lawrence put together after the half to get them to where they needed to be, insane. So super impressive. Doug Peterson is
coach of the year.
He's a good I don't know about coach. But
who's a better coach than right now?
Dayball.
Maybe Dayball. Maybe Dayball. That's it.
Only because the bones were there for Jacksonville. They just had a really bad coach last year. Like they had
what bones?
They had a franchise quarterback that they had just drafted.
They
in the first round.
They drafted a guy in the first round, right? Like if you look at it, they are the same team essentially, right? With Giants having a better defense. Christian Kirk, that's what we're talking about. You got Marvin Jones, and even Evan Ingram that you guys got rid of because he couldn't catch a cold, right?
Evan Ingram's a beast
right now, and Hodgins is a beast for the Giants. Who the hell is him?
He is. He's amazing.
The receiver, right? Anyway, go ahead. We can continue.
The multiple things that the Chargers did wrong, and it all started with Week 18. They had a game that literally meant nothing, yet all their starters were playing. And what happens? Mike Williams gets injured. You lose one of your receivers that now can't play the first week of the playoffs. And it's all because you didn't want to, like, I know you don't want to bench your starters. You want to keep the momentum going into the playoffs. But that hurts you a lot, especially a guy that was injury prone already. He should have been sitting Week 18.
That's not it. Like I get it. We're gonna point fingers and say that, but it's been games this year that Mike Williams was ineffective and not there. Right? You have somebody like Palmer who, when they were hurt, he stepped up, had 10, 12 catches a couple games. Right? So with that being said, I get what you're saying on that. You had Gerald Everett that's played out his mind at tight end. Hell of a season for him. Right? You had Eckler who had, I think the last 2 years he's the only player to have certain like touchdowns and receptions or whatever the case may be. Yeah. All that being said, none of that matters when it comes down to bad coaching. You can blame the players, but this game wasn't for players. The defense came and played out of their mind. They got on them early, 27. Oh, cool, right? You go into the second half, Jacksonville scores, it's 27-7. Okay, cool. What is your game plan when you go in at halftime? What are you saying to your players when you go in at halftime? What did they say? We don't know exactly. But I know one thing. When they came out, those coaches did not have the same intensity that they had when the game first started. Their play calling was not the same at all. They were very lackadaisical in their approach to the game. And then when they went out and had 3-and-out drives, they're like, slap their arm. Damn, okay. We still got a lead. Jacksonville scores again. Okay. We still got a lead. Then you're like, oh, shoot, Jacksonville's a touchdown away. Oh, man, okay, let's put some points up. 3 points. Okay, well, it's still kind of 2 possession. We still have it. Jacksonville comes down and scores and then goes for 2. Right? And at that point in time, when I saw that we went on 3-and-out on that, I said, look, I told because my family in Jacksonville, they were all calling me the whole time. They're gonna be some mad people. You're gonna be mad, and I was talking trash to them. And I called them right before they scored the last touchdown. I said, it don't feel right. They walked off the field, and I can tell that they're nutting up right now. And if you look at how our coach was looking in the face, he damn near was blue. He was like, right? And that's the lack of inexperience, and the play calling was bad. We go, they score. That was Doug Peterson saying, fuck you. Like, I'm him. Y'all must have forgot. Y'all kicked me out of Philadelphia. Y'all must have forgot I won the Super Bowl. I game plan the whole time.
With Nick Foles,
he never panicked, dog. He never panicked. When they were down, he threw the football. He came over Trevor Lawrence. It's okay. Relax. It's okay. It's okay. Trevor Lawrence like, oh, man, it's okay. Just listen. God did. Just be okay. Be okay. And game plan the hell about it. And I think right now, the way Jacksonville's playing, they believe like they have kind of like that the Vikings approach where like we can be down whatever and come back. But I think they're better defensively than the Giants. I mean, than the Vikings, only because
Whoa.
not the Giants, my bad. Than the Vikings, only because they have a lot of gritty players. I think the Vikings defense was just old players.
Yeah.
Jacksonville has a lot of gritty players, and they don't have anything to lose.
Oh yeah.
Nobody expects them to win anything. They don't have anything to lose. So when they go and play Kansas City, I'm not saying that Kansas City is going to lose to them.
But don't sleep.
I think it's going to definitely be a closer game than people expect. And then I think, Kansas City does what Kansas City do and pull off at the end. And I'll tell you one thing. If they come out early and they go 27-0, you best believe Andy Reid ain't taking his foot off the gas.
No.
He's not.
No.
He ain't not taking his foot off the gas. Right? And that comes down to coaching. That's my take on it, man. I think, firing the OC and all that shit be said, you should fire the head coach. You up 27-0, you should lose. You should be gone, bro. Sorry.
I agree.
You should be gone. Why not? Why not fire him and try to get Sean Payton? Sean Payton would have made that mistake.
Can you imagine a defensive player going to Bill Belichick's sideline, his defensive player, and smashing his helmet on the ground right in front of Bill Belichick? You think Bill would pick up the helmet and hand it back to him and then let him throw it again? Like, that just, to me, shows this was Joey Bosa when he threw his helmet down on the ground. And all he did was pick the helmet up and give it back to him.
And he slammed that bitch down again.
Like,
don't give me that.
Like, that's just means the coach literally has no control over the players.
It's that thing that, like, you have some coaches that try to establish dominance. Like, no, I run this organization and y'all gonna follow what I do. You have some coaches that want to be buddy with you. And like, oh yeah, we're cool, man. Yeah, I'm the cool coach. Yeah. That's him.
But you need to, there's a balance because you don't want to be too hard. Like Joe Judge.
No, you can still be personable, but still make sure that, hey, I have fun, but we ain't cool. Like, you can be Mike Tomlin.
Exactly.
Everybody love Mike Tomlin. He's a player coach. They're like, man, he cool as hell. He's cool here. But I bet you ain't nobody gonna slam on him about Mike Tomlin. No, you're not even thinking that in your head.
Sit your ass on the bench.
You know what I mean? Like, what? Like, bro, don't disrespect me. Mike Tomlin might choke you. He might choke you on the sideline. He tried to disrespect him like that. And it cost us 2 penalties.
Oh, yeah, it did.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I get it. You talking about holding and all that being said. But, bro, you got to keep your head. Everybody's looking at you. You're supposed to be the leader, and that's how our leader act. Of course we're going to lose the game. When I saw him acting like that, I said, bro, get this airhead out the game. Come on, bro.
All right.
You ain't nothing like your brother.
It's true.
Yo, Nick is chill. I love him.
It's because of that diet.
He just be like I
like
him a lot. He is probably high for sure. It's California. He's just,
I'm telling you.
He toked up the whole time. Hey, all right, so we'll talk about the Giants.
Making sure.
Giants beat the Vikings. Their offense won this game for them, which is the most surprising aspect of it. Every time they had like 4 70-plus yard drives.
No credit.
What do you mean, Brian?
I think you could give a lot of credit to your defense too. I mean, you did hold Justin Jefferson down pretty good.
Well, I did tell you guys about Adoree Jackson coming back for this game.
Okay,
man, Adoree Jackson was not it.
Okay, look at him. If I don't pay for Pro Football Focus analytics, but if you did, you would find out that Adoree Jackson is like he was a lockdown corner this year in terms of players against him. Yeah, anytime he was out there and he was lined up against him, Justin Jefferson was like 6 catches for 47 yards against him when they lined up, and he lined up against him 85% of the plays.
He had the blueprint. Yeah. Green Bay gave you the blueprint on how you stop the Vikings.
Okay, but we got to figure out how to stop a tight end because that wasn't working.
Yeah. That part of the blueprint got erased or something.
No, I'm just saying they're if you stop Justin Jefferson and you have to rely on TJ Hawkinson. Not saying he's a bad player, he's a great tight end. Like, okay, cool.
But most teams can't stop Justin Jefferson.
I know, but I'm saying what Green Bay did, how they did defensively, they gave the blueprint, right? Which is like, all right, cool. We're gonna take that away. Now, what you're gonna be? And for somebody like Kirk Cousins who closes his eyes when he throws the ball, he's like, all right, I can just throw it up in the air and Justin Jefferson's gonna get it. You can't get it when it's double coverage. You can't.
Yeah.
So my bad, but I might still the Giants sign. The Giants are awesome.
I'm just glad that they won They played really well. We got Philly this week. Not super confident, but
I don't know why.
Feel a little bit better than
Giants going to win.
Yeah, I think they're going to win too. And no offense to my people in Philadelphia, but I would say that what happened that last game, they gave too much confidence to the Giants. The Giants came back and they showed some deficiencies in that armor that Philadelphia has, and they're a week off, right? You're a week off. You can come back a little bit rusty, and like I said, Dayball, Peterson, coach of the year, in my opinion, right? Dayball's gonna have some shit for them. He's a hell of a coach, dog. He's a hell of a coach.
We'll see, because last game that Daniel Jones played against Philly, he rushed only 4 times. Last week, he rushed 17 times with the ball, designed rushes. So they've unlocked something with him and his rushing ability. I'm telling you, his first 3 years, anytime he ran with the ball, I was like, oh, he's going to fumble. Like,
or he's going to Saquon put him under the wing. Saquon put him under the wing because he runs the ball. It's funny because they said he was athletic at Duke, right? But he runs the ball like he was running at Duke. And he didn't run at Duke like that. Like he ran
his
occasionally.
Strides are so long. That's what it is. What? He doesn't look like he's going fast. He's just gaining so much ground. He's
protecting the ball good. He's lowering the shoulder. Like he's moving a little. I'm like, whew.
I think he needed that game against the Vikings. Luckily against a really, really poor defense, but no way to boost your confidence more than against a defense like that. So I think
it's hard to beat a team 3 times.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens because they beat us twice. And, all right, well, I won't belabor it anymore, but I'm gonna need y'all to pay me for the podcast just so I can buy my Giants jersey. Oh, shit in here. Hey, what's the next thing? Oh, the next game was the Vikings. Or no, the Ravens, Bengals.
Go ahead, amnesia.
Bengals almost lost this game to Huntley. Mm-hmm. This was another one where they were sleeping. So it's funny that 2 teams that were sleeping on their opponents are then playing each other. Mm-hmm. So the only it was funny. You'll actually love this, Kenny. But Brian placed a bet where the Ravens, all they had to do was be up by 7 points at any time throughout the game, and he would double up his money. I think he put $50 in there. Did you put 50?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Okay, so he put $50 in there, and he's like, he goes the whole game. And he stays in there. The Ravens are never up by 7. All they have to do is be up by 7, and then they could lose the game. It doesn't matter. Yeah. So he pulls his money out. He cashes out with like 35 because they're scored. He's like, I'm just gonna cut my losses. It ends up being like a 3-and-out. The Ravens charge down the field, and they're at the 1-yard line. And Brian's like, "Damn, I would have won like $200. He would have won like $200."
They fumble.
And then they fumble.
And then they fumble at the 1-yard line. It is amazing.
Yeah.
Cincy takes it back 99 yards for a touchdown. And that's the reason they won the game. That's it.
Exactly.
Yep. That's why the Bengals won that game. Period. Point blank. So
I would say that the Bengals weren't sleeping as much as they have offensive line issues. They lost 3 of their starters now. Yeah. And that was always the issue that I continuously brought up again about Joe Burrow. Like, you need to protect him. Well, now he's not protected again because he's got slouches out there. Mm-hmm. And that's what the Ravens do good is they create pressure. They've always done that.
And it's hard to win when you play a team 3 times. Like, I know what you guys like to do. Yes. It might work once, might work twice. It's hard to work the 3rd time, right? So
it's gonna be great. I can't wait for that game. That's gonna be a great game between the Bengals and the Bills. And it's so poetic that like they get to meet each other for a game that didn't exist the last time. So that was pretty cool. And I'm sure DeMar will be watching the game because that was gonna be a shootout because it was 7-3. That shit was gonna be wild. All right, and then the one I don't want to talk about is the last game, is the Cowboys.
Yeah, they look good.
Bank the Bucks.
Yeah, but I don't even think the Cowboys really look good. I thought the Bucks just looked like complete dog shit. Like they didn't play good on defense. They didn't look good on offense. So it's kind of like a false thing where you think like, oh man, the Cowboys are ready to play. Like don't forget last week, not this week, but the last week previously when they played against the doggone Got the Redskins and Commanders. They look like dog water too. They look trash. The Commanders topped that ass. And you can't say, oh, well, those guys are trying to sit. No, they weren't sitting. So it's like, I don't think the Cowboys got it.
Tampa
every
needs
drive,
to hit
I
a
was
game reset. Eric needs to hit the reset button.
Yeah.
They're done.
Tom Brady needs to call it. They'll call it a day. They need to just break everything up.
Just in Tampa, he needs to call it a day.
He's going to play somewhere else.
I don't think he wants to play there. I don't know. Like, there were some of his passes just look bad. He just needs to go somewhere where the offensive line is amazing, and that's it.
He looked old. But I don't think he looked old because he doesn't have it. I think he looked old because the care was like, whatever, bro. Like, once this would throw me off. When he threw the pick in the end zone in the red zone, I was like, oh, yeah, they're going to lose this game because that's not Tom.
Yeah.
He just like threw it up, ducked the head. I'm like, that's Kirk Cousins. It's not Tom Brady. So.
Yeah. And that was after he was going through his progression. He was just trying to throw the ball away.
Yeah.
So that was a pathetic game. Anyways, 3 NFC East teams are still in the playoffs. You're guaranteed to see at least one NFC East team in the NFC Championship game, and you could see the Giants could potentially, or the Eagles. The Eagles could potentially only play NFC East teams to get to the Super Bowl. Like that. That could possibly be it.
That's not
That'd
happening.
I mean, I think
San Francisco's going to bust everyone's ass.
Okay. Well.
Yeah.
Everybody.
San Francisco's on a mission, bro.
Yeah.
It's going to be San Francisco and Kansas City again, probably.
Unless something happens to McCaffrey, or I think McCaffrey's the only person that would make it go downhill.
Yeah. Because if he's playing, that boy playing different.
Yeah. Good luck.
All right, that's it.
All right, well, I got I got 3 questions for you guys. I was just looking at it before because I know we're getting short on time. So hot takes like hot cakes. 3 questions real quick. What about Lamar? What we do? What we're doing?
It's time to move on. Both parties need to move on. Baltimore needs to move on, and Lamar needs to move on. Change of scenery. I hope his knee's okay. I don't want him to become like RG3. I hope he does take care of himself. So I'm okay with him sitting out until he's healthy. I have no problem with that. But it just hasn't worked there yet, and so I would move on.
Ryan, anything to say to that?
I don't know if I would move on. I mean, he is Baltimore. You know what I mean? Like, he is like. I think he's great. I think he can be great. They literally built their offense around this guy, but have never got him receivers. Hollywood they never got him receivers. Like, get him some receivers that are gonna stay healthy. Like, Bateman was great when he was playing. Hollywood Brown was just not it for him. He needs a guy that's got a huge catch radius. Like,
he needs. They need to go get D-Hop.
Yeah.
If he stays, they need to go get D-Hop. Right? They need to get D-Hop. Keep Bateman on the other side. Right? You already got Mark Andrews. Likely he's playing good. Like, you need to give him actual weapons, dog. Stop putting people that were good 4 years ago and all these. Oh yeah, he's decent. He can fit in, plug and play, because that's not working. And you're not going to ever get to the next phase as Baltimore as a team until they do that. They kind of say, "Oh well, he changes the offense because they have to run the ball." He doesn't necessarily have to run. They didn't do that in Louisville. In Louisville, they didn't do that. Like, they gave him the option if he wanted to run, but he threw the ball a lot in Louisville. So you can't try to say that and make it seem like it's Lamar's fault when that's not the case at all, in my opinion.
The windows are a little more open in college, though.
But I think they also moved away from what he does best. Like, they moved towards more of a conventional run-first type offense and took away his playmaking ability a little bit this year.
Yeah.
And, it might be best for him long-term that he needs to develop into more of a pocket passer as he gets older. But for now, I mean, you got to use what he's good at.
Yeah. Okay. So
send him to Vegas.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Josh McDaniels wanted to draft him. He went and scouted him when he was coming out in the draft.
That might be interesting for sure. That might be interesting. Okay. So my second question, probably going to be last one, is what to do with A-Rod?
Go to Vegas.
For who?
Because
for the Packers,
for both sides, because he's talking like, oh, I need to be in the right situation, blah, right? But it's like he's dealing with what Lamar Jackson's had to deal with his whole career. You kind of got nobody as a receiver, and you're like complaining like, I need to get a good weapon. You just had Devontae Adams the majority of the career, and he's a baller. So it's kind of like a false sense of security, and now you got to really play ball. So I just want to know, as a Packers organization, do you just say, all right, I'm tired of this guy throwing us under the bus. Let's just get him out of there.
I mean, the problem is Aaron Rodgers has all the power in this one.
He has to okay the trade.
Yeah.
He has to be like, yeah, I'll go there.
Yeah.
He'd go to Denver. Denver could get rid of Russ.
No. I don't. We'll see.
I don't think Russ is a problem. I think the coach is a problem. That was my next question. Like, what do you do with Russ? Right? Like, do you get him a coach, right? And for that to say, what coach is the best fit for Denver?
We talked about this, Brian. Payton. I think we like Sean Payton.
Yeah.
Like, Sean Payton will literally save Russ's career.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to save it. His career is good. I think 1 year changed it, but I know what you're saying, though. I think it's like revitalize, like Drew Brees, like he did with Drew Brees.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But what is your take on him, Sean Payton, liking Houston?
Does he like Houston?
Why would he want to go to Houston?
I don't know. He interviewed down there.
Yeah, I don't know where he's going.
I think he only interviewed down there because Houston has the draft capital to trade to New Orleans, so New Orleans is happy.
True.
Because New Orleans wants a first-round pick for him.
So I would too if you had the power like that. But I think who was I talking about this with? Was it with you, Kenny? Or I can't remember who it was, but like, you think New Orleans doesn't really have the power, because Sean Payton could just be like tomorrow, be like, all right, I'm coming back. What are you going to do now?
They would pay him, and they would have him coach.
And have him be the head coach? And be like, all right. And then what are they going to do with Dennis Allen?
He's going to step down.
Yeah, peace. he damn sure ain't better than Sean Payton.
No.
Hey, bro, you know that it is what it is, my guy.
I know he's not, but I think he could force their hand into like making a decision.
I don't think so, because I think they would just be like, okay, you're our coach now. I think that they would just give in.
I think they will welcome him back with open arms.
Yeah.
Because they used to being in the playoffs, and them not being in the playoffs, it's kind of like, damn.
Sean Payton's like a hero down there.
Yeah.
Like, everybody loves him.
Yeah. All right, well, that's too easy. That was really my only two questions, and it led to three, because I was going to ask about the coaches, but really I was concerned about what your thoughts was with Sean Payton. But yeah, that's all I really got. I would say Ryan's Fantasies, I can't wait for it to come back next year, or 8 months, right? 8 months from now, Ryan's Fantasies, or 7 months from now, Ryan's Fantasies will be back. Guys, if you're not tracking, we are betting our asses off on DraftKings, so we can share that. I guess we can share that in the link. You guys, referral code, come join DraftKings. I think we might switch to FanDuel. We'll go put that in the comments on the YouTube if you guys want to track what we're doing, because a lot of you guys are not going on Action Sports, so you're not getting a pick. So come join into one of our draft pools and can see what we're doing. Like, subscribe, all the videos. We appreciate the support. We will see you guys next week. Same energy, same time. And good luck to the Giants. Good luck to the Patriots and the Chargers, in getting a new coach.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Peace.
Peace.